What is up YouTube, it's Kingfisher745, and in this video we're going to take a look at the refactored Black Knight. This is going to be the first of two with the next one coming next week. Now when I was recording the battles, something funny happened with two of them. I would call them outtakes, but they're sort of blooper battles. Both of them had some very odd things happening, but at the same time I really wanted to share them with you all. So what I'm going to do is place one of these matches in the middle of both of these two videos. That's pretty much the setup for this one, but I also want to thank Mark for this graphic. Then moving on to our first fight, this time we're facing Hercules and Heimdall. And I happen to be using the Black Knight with the Bruiser hybrid. Throughout this battle, by the way, you're going to see that the Black Knight is an absolute tank. This hero, especially with his shielding E-ISO, can really take on the damage. If you're unaware of that empowered ISO 8, it says defensive stance. Has a chance to block attacks taking reduced damage. And you can find that one in Season 2, Chapter 7, Mission 6. Another really cool thing about Black Knight is that he can absorb power, gaining back some HP. And we'll see something else really cool about this effect later in the battle. First things first though, with my agent, we want to use the Neuropurge and stop any counterattacks from happening. After that, I'm going to use the Fire Tornado to exhaust them. And finally, since Heimdall gave them a ton of buffs, we're going to go ahead and erase them all by using the Blackest Void. We definitely don't want them to keep all those finest hour buffs, especially Hercules. So that's going to be the end of our first turn, and now the enemy agent's up. After he takes his damage from dots, he's going to use the first seal. Unfortunately for them, we've already wiped their buffs, but we definitely see where they were going with that. Next, the enemy Heimdall attacks Black Knight, and he does hardly any damage. Even worse for him, we counter and cause hemorrhage. Now with our hybrid and the fact that he exploits bleeds with his level 1, we can get in a huge hit on the enemy agent and a follow-up attack. That's all thanks to flanked. Our backstab does do the trick, and that's one enemy agent down. Next up, Hercules tries to damage our tank, but he only does 832 damage. Like I said, Black Knight is an absolute rock. Also, since it's the second round, we can use Momentary Advantage, the Light Fantastic, and Fire Tornado as a quick action, and still attack twice with the custom Sword of the Barony. Because of the bleeds and its healing properties, we're going to get quite a bit of health back, but with Black Knight there's even an added bonus. He's going to absorb power as well. So talk about a massive amount of healing potential. The custom Sword of the Barony and Black Knight go perfectly together. Plus, with the flanked follow-up, Heimdall is now out. Hopefully we can do the same thing to Hercules, so let's go ahead and hit him with the sword as well. Okay, well he wasn't flanked, so we're only getting the initial hit. But next, with the Black Knight, we can use his Valinor, which has hemorrhaging attack. This comes from his custom A-ISO, the Trampling Augmented ISO 8. You can either use this or the Cooperative A-ISO to make it a quick action. Both are great choices. Well, that first match went over very well with our team finishing at full health. For this next one, it's going to be that crazy outtake / blooper reel battle. When I saw the enemy team at this very low health total, I knew they were going to have a serious attack. And right away you can see that when you see the amount of damage that Black Knight's taking. Luckily for us, he did step up and take that Vortex Lariat, and so at least our team isn't going to be stunned. With my agent, one thing that the Asgardian tankard could have afforded us is against a team with the Mystic Shroud, I could have actually used the tankard first, then got away with the Blackest Void, and then still use a Fire Tornado to exhaust them. Instead, we used the Warm Zephyr, which I'm still not sure if that would have been the best move or not. Either way, we are very worried about the damage output of this enemy team. The interesting thing though with a glass cannon team like this, they cannot take damage. So if we had Iron Patriot for example, he could just finish the entire team, probably in his first turn. Alright, so at the end of our turn, we go with the custom Sword of the Barony, and boy did we pay. Well, I guess it wasn't a terrible decision, but things work out terribly. Our Fandral gets absolutely smashed. That was because he was going for a riposte, and so we got hit with that huge combo breaker. But hey, at least he hit his own Star-Lord with a ton of damage as well. And we got a Shield of Night counter. At this point, the craziness has kind of just begun. After using an Atonement and giving ourselves Epiphany, I'm next going to use the Shield of Night, and that will finish the enemy agent. The Hemorrhage just puts us over the top. Then after that, Star-Lord's going to tee off on his own Quicksilver, and that's what massive damage potential can do against their own team. But obviously, this is kind of an odd outcome. That's why I'm calling it more of an outtake or a blooper fight, rather than a normal match. This was one I should have and definitely thought I would lose. But it just shows you how crazy fights can be, especially with the AI. And of course, random procs. So after using the Light Fantastic and just making sure I was going to win, I'm even going to take it a step further and use Momentary Advantage followed by the Custom Sword of the Barony. By the way, the second crazy match that'll be in that other video was probably even zanier than this one. Not in the same way though. So just make sure you stay tuned for that one. Now for a normal match with Black Knight and Fandral, this time we're facing Luke Cage and Avalanche. They're a pretty great team up and they can definitely work very well. However, the key for us will be to use On Guard and hopefully depower them. Unfortunately, Fandral's not going until last. However, we can change that with the Asgardian Tankard. So first, we're going to use Elixir of Recovery, and then that's going to give Fandral an immediate turn. Next, we're going to use On Guard, and yes, Null is going crazy with his Fatal Fist, so we're going to have to put an end to that as well. We can do that by hitting him with the Blackest Void. For whatever reason, it shuts it down. Next, we will definitely exhaust the enemy team using the Fire Tornado. And after that, we'll end this very long series of turns by using the Custom Sword of the Barony. By the way, this weapon can be found in Season 1, Chapter 11, Mission 3. For the custom version though, you have to run it on challenge mode. And unfortunately our attack does miss. Next, on the enemy Avalanche's turn, we use Witty Retort and Riposte. So now he has the power, but he hits his own teammate anyways. Then with the Black Knight, we'll use Atonement and give ourselves Epiphany. That will make this next attack a guaranteed crit. So with that, we hit the enemy agent with the Shield of Night. Right now we're kind of in the beginning phases, but the damage will definitely be stepped up in round 2. After that exhausted villain agent uses the Signpost, that's the end of his turn because he was exhausted. So with Fandral we use Flynning Circus and place 3 times bleeding on the entire enemy team. Null's turn was wasted as well, so we'll use the Fire Tornado once again, follow that with Momentary Advantage and the Light Fantastic, then 2 attacks from our sword. Believe it or not, this sword can actually do a very respectable amount of damage. So check it out on the enemy agent. There's a 13k crit. And we heal our team as well as give absorb power to Black Knight. The added heal is definitely a great bonus and it helps our team stay at full health. I think one of the biggest keys to this team is actually getting that early depower. So the sooner we can get Fandral to use On Guard, the better. After that, we can use his Flynning Circus to place 3 times bleeding, and then Valinor to cause hemorrhage. With that combination, before too long the enemy team is definitely going to bleed out. That is, everyone except for Null. So yes, immune to bleeding is one of the problems that you may face, but as shown, even a team with a character like that is beatable. The more characters you face that are immune to bleeding though, the worse it's going to be. Still, like I said, the custom sword does do a nice amount of damage, and with it we knock out the World Breaker. Avalanche will die to bleeds, and that's going to be the end of this video. I hope everyone enjoyed it, and I want to thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and until next time, good luck, and take care.